Hello everybody, Gizmac here, and today I'm going to be talking about the K10 in Battlefield Hardline, and how this is actually a pretty unique weapon, and I actually really like this weapon. Now, the K10 has a few pretty good attributes to it, and one of those is its fire rate. Its fire rate is 1,200 rounds per minute, and that's pretty much the highest in the game, and it's actually very powerful. So I want to be talking through the stats in here. These are from Simfic. So if you want to go check out the stats, link in the description if you want to go check those out. So this weapon is actually pretty cool, and to me it honestly reminds me of the AS Val from Battlefield 4, where it has high fire rate, but the magazine size is actually pretty small in it, and you'll see why here in a second. So the max damage is 34, and the minimum damage at 30 meters is 12. So the drop off starts at 10 meters and the drop off ends at 30 meters. So it's pretty close range. You know, you could still do good at 30 meters. With it only being 12 damage, you're going to have to reload because of that high fire rate. So if you miss a few shots, then you're going to have to reload. The muzzle velocity is 310 meters per second. And the magazine size is only 26. Now, even then, 26 isn't that bad. You could still get 1 to 2, maybe 3 kills. But with that high fire rate, you're going to have to reload quite a bit. You can't put extended mags on here. You cannot do that, so that's another thing that limits this weapon. But the actual reload is only 1.5 seconds if you have bullets left. And if you have a empty reload, that's only 2.23 seconds. So it's not that bad, honestly. But you will actually still be reloading quite a bit. So, you know, it's usually a one-on-one weapon, much like the AS Val. Now, this weapon, in my opinion, may actually be better than the AS Val because of that higher fire rate. You know, the Battlefield 4 AS Val only had 900 rounds per minute, while this has 1,200 rounds per minute. Also, the AS Val has less damage, but it has better minimum damage. The drop-off end, where you will be doing 60 damage with the AS Val, is actually 50 meters. And this was one of those weapons that, before the beta came out, I was actually very hesitant about. Whenever I heard that 1,200 rounds per minute, I was kind of scared that it would just turn into a weapon that everybody uses. Of course, this is the beta, so it could be nerfed if it was overpowered, but I wouldn't say that this is necessarily overpowered. But it does have a lot of stats that are actually very good. Now, the recoil on it isn't that bad. It's mostly vertical. You know, it has equal left to right recoil, and just the recoil in general is not that bad. And I want to just talk about this weapon if it is overpowered, and I want to ask you guys if it is overpowered, if you think that it's overpowered, because I don't think that's overpowered. It looks very powerful, and it actually kind of is. I mean, you can take out enemies very fast with this weapon. With that drop off, you're not going to be doing that great at long range, and this gun would probably be best on bank job. And I think that would be where it's best. I honestly just love this weapon, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think that this weapon is overpowered? Because it definitely looks like it could be overpowered, but I wouldn't say that it's really overpowered, because it still has that very bad range. You're only going to be doing that great at close range, and that's really what you're going to be using this weapon for. Of course, you still have that 34 damage at 10 meters. So that I feel like maybe the damage could maybe be decreased, but with how fast the time to kill on basically all weapons in Battlefield Hardline is, I wouldn't say that's actually overpowered, because you will have to reload quite a bit. So if you do think it's overpowered, what would you change about this weapon? Would it be the magazine size, maybe make it 20? Or would it be the fire rate? Or would it be the damage? Would you make it have more recoil? Or do you think that it's actually a bad weapon? I wouldn't say that's really a bad weapon, but I wouldn't say it's imbalanced. If there was one thing I would change, maybe the reload. I think the reload could be a bit longer, but I guess in Battlefield Hardline, most of the reloads on weapons are actually pretty fast. So let me know in the comments what you think about this weapon. Do you actually like the K10? In my opinion, it actually looks pretty cool because it is a crisp vector, so it looks pretty cool. So let me know in the comments. Hope you all enjoy. Feedback is always appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Suspect down, package down. I got him.